Welcome back to another episode of TA Outdoors. Mike here, and continuing with our theme of survival kits. This week I'm testing out a survival shovel kit. This cost me £85, around about $100. It supposedly has over 20 different survival uses or items. I'm here with my dog Jax. We're going to be building a shelter, we're going to be making a fire, we're going to be using and abusing this survival kit to see just how good an £85 survival shovel really is. So the shovel kit comes in this heavy duty Cordura carry bag. It's got a nice big D-loop up here to just grab it, but it also on the back has the MOLLE webbing system. If you wanted to mount this onto any MOLLE panels that you might have into your vehicle or on the side of a backpack, then you have the MOLLE straps just there, and those go on the side as well. There's a couple around here and a couple on this side, so you could attach more MOLLE pouches to this and kind of make it more of a modular pack, so that you don't just have this kit, you could also have, I don't know, a first aid kit or something else on there. 2 zips on the front, Velcro there, and then the kit just opens up. Oh, here looks like there's some carry straps, so the carry strap would attach to these D-loops just here, these plastic D-loops. Don't feel amazing quality given the weight of the bag, but then now you could carry this kit on your shoulder quite easily, so handy addition to have, I guess. Right, this is every item from the bag that I could get out. These sections here all have something in them, or there's something unique about them. These ones are just hollow. They're the standard additional sections to make the shovel longer. So initial impressions of the handle material are, it does feel really good quality. It's lightweight, so I believe it's aluminium, kind of like anodized aluminium, treated to stop it rusting. So it's lightweight, but it does feel durable. It's got this checkering all over it, which makes it really grippy. I like that, and there's some nice seals here, some O-ring seals to make it so that when you do them up, the thread seems really good quality, lots of thread on it, so it's super tight, and that seal, you can hear it when it pinches tight, it absolutely locks there. So it's nice to know that water wouldn't get in on that seal. That's the handle material. I believe the shovel itself is actually made of carbon steel, hardened carbon steel. It's much sort of good, better quality than the handles. There's an axe, which is cool, and a pickaxe. So first one I'm drawn to is this, because it has some cordage on it. It's got the carry handle, and on the back we have a button compass, a small compass. Let's see how good it is. Okay, north is pretty accurate. Now if I turn and it sticks, then that's not so good, but it is sticking a little bit. Look, north is not turning. I'm having to tap it a lot, then north comes around. If I keep turning around, let's see if north sticks again. It's turning a bit better now. So it does stick slightly, it does point north, but you kind of have to stop, give it a tap just to let it settle. The previous one in the previous episode was really good. It just spun around really easily, and you can store things in there if you needed to, actually. Fire kit with matches and things. And there is a small bit of cordage on the end there, which could be used for lashing something together. Next up, we have something in the end of this, I'm not sure. Oh, there you go. Push it through. Oh, we have a fishing kit, everyone. Finally, after being stiffed on the last 2 survival kits, we actually have a fishing kit. Let's take a look. So the kit comes in this clear plastic tube. It's easy to see everything that's inside it. There's a small lid with some rubber around it to make it pinch tight. Here's some fishing line. Looks about £10, £15 breaking strain. Just there. There's lots of small floats, or bobbers, I believe you guys call them across the pond. Yeah, lots of floats. Then there is a small Ziploc bag, which has a swivel, snap swivel for fishing lures or changing rigs quickly. That's what those are really handy for. Just one of them. There's 2 small lead weights, again, or sinkers I think you guys call them, the pond. Only small ones. Another swivel and snap link there for changing rigs if you set up 2 rigs, and it looks like there's 2 pre-tied rigs here, one with a slightly larger fish hook. How sharp are we talking? You test the sharpness of a fish hook, by the way, by just gently pricking it on the back of your nail and seeing if it will hold, which it does. So they're sharp. That one's not as sharp. That one's definitely not as sharp. I'd have to sharpen that one probably, whereas this bigger one is sharp. Yeah, good to see. 2 rigs, 2 weights. Personally, if I was putting a small fishing kit like this together, I would put a lot more in there in terms of hooks. Imagine you get those, you've got 2 chances. You get those snagged up on trees. You have no way of catching a fish. Certainly hooks, you need lots of. I would pack a lot more than that. But it's nice to see I finally have a fishing kit. Good that they all come in a small tube that's dry and sealed. That was just located inside one of the handles like that. This one has this hardened rubber end to it. It doesn't come out or anything. It stays in there. In fact, it's fixed. I can see it's fixed in there. So I'm guessing this would be, if you were to use all these sections together plus the other spare sections, that it could be used as a walking pole. I think that's what it's used for. The other thing is you could join them all together, and this could be the top section if you have a pole tent. It utilises a hiking pole or a walking pole, Polish Lavu tent, and you need a pole in the middle of it. Then you have this rubber section to stop it putting pressure on your tent, as opposed to these ends, which would be a lot more acute, the angles, and they might rub on it. Well, this looks like a whistle. Just about make it on the on the outside. Pretty sure it's meant to work. It looks a bit slanted in there. Bit of rubber is not located in line with the hole. I could probably rotate it with my knife perhaps. That's why it's not making a whistle sound. Well, that's a shame, because it looks like it would be quite a good whistle. Jax is just thinking I'm crazy. Oh, it undoes. What's on the other side? A fire steel. Quite a reasonably sized fire steel too. So that, I guess, could then... So you got whistle one side, a fire steel the other side, and then you could lock the fire steel in like that, and then you have something to grip, and hopefully we've got some sort of striker in there, strike down on the fire steel that way. Oh, and the fire steel actually comes out. It comes loose if you want to freehand it. Now, to me, that's a bit too loose. That comes out far too easily. I think that could get lost quite quickly, to just be able to loosely pull that out. But we'll give it a go later for some fire. Something undoes. Ooh, a saw and a knife and a bottle opener. That's neat. Okay, secure it on the handle, so there you go. There's still no way of striking the fire steel without using a sharp blade. I don't want to dull the blade of that knife. I mean, it's not... So that's what it looks like. Saw blade, knife on the top, bottle opener, and that looks like a fish disgorger on the end there. You could use that tip section as a fish disgorger. The saw blade actually feels pretty sharp, does feel sharp, and it's definitely a saw blade. It's not a fish scaler. The knife, let's see how sharp she is and try and shave some hair. Oh dear, I don't think it's shaving any hair. I'm actually pushing relatively hard. That's quite blunt. If I'm paying £85 for this kit, I'd like to have a sharp knife in it, please. That's really blunt, look. It's weird because it feels sharp, but the bevel's too thick. It has shaved some hair, but it's nothing like my bushcraft knife. We'll give it a go. We'll try and do some feather sticks with it later. We have a knife, we have a saw, we have a way of getting fire. We don't have a way of striking it. I do like the way everything slots inside the handles though. A good use of space. Something is on this as well. What's it going to be? Looks like an ice pick. I think that's an ice pick. Yeah, I'm guessing it is. Judging by the shape of it and the hollow bit and the teeth, I think that's an ice pick. I would say that's an ice pick. What do you think, folks? I like mountaineering, dabbing into the ice. It's got those backward facing teeth like they do. Amongst the kit were 2 rolls of this camo tape. It's that soft webbing kind of tape. It's elasticated tape. So that I'm guessing 2 reasons. A, it makes it more stealthy and camouflage when you wrap it around the handles, but B, gives you more cushion to hold, a better grip. It's less, this checkering's fine, but after a lot of use that's going to really be quite aggressive on your hands, on your skin, so it would help with that. But also in winter when it's freezing cold, holding all this metal is going to be really cold on your hands, so you have the option to add this tape all over the top of the handle sections so that the metal's not as cold on your hands. That's what I'm guessing anyway. Apologies if you hear a constant drone in the background. The farmers are doing things on the field. I think they're harvesting actually, I'm not sure, but it's a tractor. 3 different sections that you can have on the shovel. We'll take a look at the shovel itself, I think, first. It's got a twist, yep, twist lock. Undo that, do that, then it twists and locks shut, and there is the shovel. This is carbon steel, hardened carbon steel. This does feel pretty good quality. We've got sharp, I say sharp, angled edges all around the edge here on 3 sides. Then there is some that's not really sharp enough to be a saw, more of a sort of descaler. Guess we could try and use it as a saw. A bottle opener, because all the survival things love a bottle opener. I find it really weird that so many pieces of survival kits have a bottle opener. as if there's going to be loads of beer bottles for if you're in a survival situation. I guess for when you celebrate getting out of the survival situation. Small little wrenches here, which can go over 2 different sizes of nuts to undo them. You can place them on the top and undo them. This, I believe, is a nail remover. So depending on the size of the nail, you slide the nail head through there, adjust it until the nail head is wider than the 2 angles there, and then you prise out the nail with the shovel itself. Overall, feels okay. We've got to really hammer this though. Next up is the axe head. This actually feels quite heavy, 2 pounds maybe, around about nearly 2 pounds. I'd say £1.75 pounds. It's got a sheath to it, Cordura sheath, 2 pop catches there. Relative, definitely not a carving axe. This is for splitting. It's quite a thick bevel. It sort of has that bevel style of a splitting maul, and it's not as sharp, so I'd say that it's definitely more for log splitting. There's a nice square pole here on the back, really flat and protruding for whacking in nails, stakes, tent stakes, things like that. I do like that. That's quite good to have. Right, last item is the pickaxe head. There's two different, there's a beveled end here, as you do get on pickaxes, and then the narrow point just on the end there, which isn't sharp, but it is pointed. That looks sharp. It's not sharp at all. It's blunt on the end here, just so it can get into the ground easier. So that is it, every item from the £85 survival shovel. So I'm going to do 2 sections, 6 inches, and then I put the axe head on so it's more like a hatchet. Before we try it as an axe, we'll try it as a hatchet, a bit more control. Oh, got loose a bit then. This splitting, it just there, see, it gets loose every time no matter how tight you do it, and that's in hatchet mode. It's loose, see, that's two hits, and look, it's come loose again, and I'm trying to do this up as tight as I can. It does split. There's definitely more of a splitting head to it. It's getting loose again. I have to almost tighten it after every 2 or 3 swings of the axe. But it does split it fine. Right, what we're going to do is screw on an extra two sections to make it more of an axe this time, rather than a hatchet. They're relatively long for the size of the axe head. Let's try it. Oh, didn't like that. It actually feels a little bit safer somehow in the axe mode with a longer handle, but still after probably every 4 to 5 swings of splitting wood, I need to then just twist. Normally this top section where the axe is, it's not the other section, it just does that tiny bit. I'm confident I don't think it would come off because there's so much thread and you feel it loose before anything else, so you know to tighten it up. But you can see why the axe section is secondary to the primary thing of what it's meant to be, which is obviously a shovel. Nevertheless, it's good to have an axe. I split all that wood up. It's quite ideal to have an axe anyway in the kit. I'm just not sure how kind of safe it is to use compared to a normal axe. Let's try out Blunty McBluntface, the knife, and see if we can do some feather sticks. This is a piece of birch, I'd say. Nice straight grain, should be really easy. Oh, it's not good. I really wish it was a lot sharper. It's making some curls, but they're really inconsistent, where the blade's just not sharp at all. Which is, you know, £85. You want a sharp knife. I could buy a really good quality Mora bushcraft knife that would come to me very sharp for about £20. It's making nice curls, but they're just not substantial. Jax is doing his own type of product testing over there, digging. they're very laborious to do. It doesn't feel comfortable at all. The other thing that's annoying is the saw, back of the saw is catching the feathers as I pull my knife back up, and it's pulling them all out, which is kind of frustrating. It doesn't do it every time, but it is annoying. So you can see it does make feather sticks, just much more time consuming and not good for the dexterity. It's quite tricky. I'm finding the process very slow compared to how I'd normally be able to do feather sticks. I'm fighting the blunt knife a lot. I would have done probably 2 feather sticks by now. This is just taking a lot longer. So far we've processed up a good amount of wood with the axe and the hatchet, and we've got some okay feather sticks, certainly fine curls, but it's taken a long time. I think now it's time that we test out the saw blade and try and get a shelter built of some sort. So I've got a couple of long sticks which have been lying around the woods for a while. I need to buck them up slightly smaller. I got to be honest with you, I think this type of saw, although it's sharp, is more for use for cutting rope and things. But we'll give it a go on this piece of wood. Going to be a long time. In fact, it only cuts on the pull. I can feel that, only cuts on the pull. But it's so short, it's a little bit, it's going to be time consuming. Pinching quite a bit now as well. I've kind of kept rolling the log and then cutting, because it cuts and then it does that and starts to pinch. I have to keep rolling around. I know I need to wedge something under here like that. It's still very time consuming and rubbish for a saw. I think it's more a serrated blade for rope. I'm testing these things out so you guys don't have to. It's basically just a bit of cambium there now. Cutting it. In fact, there we go. See, that was holding it. It cuts, but it's slow. It's still a bit green, this. That's why that bark held on. So I've got 3 long sticks, 2 long ones, 1 even longer, and I have my tarp, and we're going to make something from this shelter. This took a long time to saw, about 20 minutes. So another downside of the kit is that's all the cordage I was given. I had a fishing kit, but there's no paracord, or there's no substantial length of it. That's literally it. So I need to lash this tripod together, and the diameter of the sticks are fairly thick, a couple of inches, and this is all the cordage I've got. Now, I'm not stupid, I haven't come out here with just this kit. That's the whole point in why I'm testing these kits, and a lot of these survival kits are things that you would bring in addition to your main gear. You should have, in my opinion, some form of shelter in your pack, some form of mat or sleeping pad underneath you to keep you warm, and a sleeping bag. That's the bare minimum you should have when you come out. So these survival kits are basically like an addition. Yes, they could help you in a survival situation. If they were all you had, you'd be really grateful. That's the only length. We'll try and lash it together with this, but it's not going to be very secure. Look, I can't get it. It's just too short. It's way too short. So I wish they included some more cordage in that kit. Just a couple of feet, you know, 4 feet even, just to make enough for a tripod. It can make a small cooking tripod, but not a shelter one. But let's use some of this manky old rope, which I've had in my backpack for a while. It should be easy enough. It's nice and thick diameter. It'll be easy enough to wrap and frap, as they say. At the end, I'm going to pull that through, cinch that down. I'm not going to go super tight because I still need to make a tripod. We're going to go round once. We're going to come underneath. We're going to frap under there. Pull that tight first. Twice. And then back through here once. Very rudimentary one, but it's gonna be fine for what I need it for. This area here is where I'm going to have my shelter. It's a tarp, but I'm going to set it up in a different way that I did last week, using this frame. Nice, simple, basic tripod. Same tarp I was using last week. I'll link it in the description below. It's a 2.9 by 3 meter, or roughly 3 meters by 3 meter tarp. So that's 9 and a bit feet by 9 and a bit feet. These 2 sections coming down the sides of the apex are the same length as the edges of the top, about 9 and a bit feet. The one at the back, the pole, is much longer, probably 14 feet. So I've made a tripod and I'm going to attach my tarp to the underside of the wood frame, and that's going to keep it taut. I could chuck it over the top and it would still support the top just as well, but I'm going to attach it underneath. Literally just going to hang it over the middle and go through the pulley like that. I'm going to tie it off. So I have about a foot here to play with, so that when I need to tighten the tarp and raise it up, I'll just pull it on the pulley and it will lock into place there. But for now, I've just left a foot there. It just makes it much easier for me to adjust it. Find the middle point and just tie it to the center ridge pole. To do that, I've got lots of small pieces of cordage, which they should have included in the kit. The ground's really hard. So this is shelter for the night. I've just used the sticks as a frame, and now if the tarp ever sags or I need to change the pitch or the angle, all I need to do is just adjust the legs of the tripod and I can change the angle. I can even pull out the back peg, pull the tarp right around here if the wind changes, and peg it down and then just lift the legs out again to get the tension. The closer I pull the legs in, the more tension the tarp gets. But there's bucket loads of space under here. I'll just clear some leaves out. So that is shelter done. I'm now going to use shovel and the pickaxe because we're going to get fire going, but this, we're going to build basically a Dakota fire pit or Dakota fire hole. The ground is relatively hard, but we're going to go with this. There we go. I might keep it short, kneel down about here. Getting quite hard. I can use the pick side. That's really good. You can see this hard clay lumps coming out. We need to get down fairly deep. Then I can use this side to scoop it. Dig with that. Loosen it. It's harder than it looks on camera, trust me. Probably looks really soft. Got to make it quite a big hole. Still comes loose every now and then. Take the axe head off, put the shovel on, and then I have two tools. And actually this is long. I could use this shovel standing up if I connected all the handles. I'm going to keep the pickaxe small like this and the shovel relatively long. So I've switched the microphone to a kind of wireless one because the combine harvester in the fields is really loud. So hopefully you guys can hear me on this audio and less of the kind of background stuff. Anyway, I've done a hole around about, I don't know, 30 centimeters deep, 12 inches or something. Now I'm going to dig another smaller hole slightly to the right of it. So far the shovel's digging okay, but these sections do just wiggle loose after a while and I have to keep tightening them. But the ground is really hard, so you know, I wouldn't be able to do this with a stick very well. This hole I'm going to dig around about that far, not too far from this main hole. The further I dig it, the more I have to see it's come loose again. Tell you what, if I stab it in the ground, yeah, you can twist it tighter. Maybe that's the way to tighten it. Whack it in the ground and twist it. This ground is really quite dry and hard. When I get down to the clay, it's damp. It's this top section. I'm finding this works pretty well. It's more of the mattock kind of side of it, but once I get so deep I can't really swing it, but for this beginning bit it's working really well. Oh, see the sparks from the carbon then. We are, by the way, 6:20 p.m. Dark in an hour and a half. Both holes are pretty much the same depth. This is smaller. This is going to be the air hole. That's going to be the fire hole. I'm going to use the ice pick attachment, or at least that's what I think it is, because I need to now dig a tunnel through here. And because this is so narrow and the ground's so hard, I think this will be the ideal tool to do it with. Pick away at a tunnel. Normally I'd use a stick. Nice and pointy. I think that'll work well to dig the tunnel through there. Oh look, it's better to actually push that in and bend it. That's better. I feel like an archaeologist here. I'm gonna start making my way at the hole from this side now, because the lighting's better as well. I don't want to collapse the tunnel, because all this work would have been for nothing. See my hand there? That's good. We have a hole. That now is a tunnel. This is the fire hole, this is the air hole. I can now pass that all the way through, and the hole's about the size of my fist, so that's good. What I have done in the past, but I'm not sure I'm going to, is to open up the air hole a bit. I'll do it a little bit so you can see, but just make a little V-notch so the air is kind of guided into it more. So it's extra work. I don't necessarily need to do it, I don't think, tonight. The air goes whoosh, and funnels down. I'm just basically putting some sticks on the bottom because the ground is cold, and this is also going to help get a bit of airflow under these sticks. It also brings the hole, the depth of this hole up level with that hole, because I've actually gone slightly deeper here than the tunnel. So it's raising the base of the fire up. That air should go right into the base of the fire then. I don't know about you guys, but I did not see a striker in the kit. It's just, whoops. That's what I don't like, the way that fire still comes out so easily. So the pickaxe does throw some sparks, and that's the one I wouldn't mind blunting. Of all the tools, I wouldn't mind blunting the pickaxe, really. I really don't like how easy that fire still comes out. Try the knife. It's blunt anyway, folks. I can sharpen it at home. Wow, so that's how blunt the knife is. It doesn't throw sparks at all. Does the shovel, but again, it's really bulky. Does. So I'm just putting my other fine shavings just on the shovel blade. So I need every bit of shaving I can get. Any danger? So because that fire still wasn't working, I'm going to try my own one. Just in case it is the feather sticks themselves, which it looks like it actually could be. Oh, nearly. Something ignited then. Go on. Here we go. No. That was really quite tricky. Nice to do it with a fire still. Shame we couldn't do it with the fire still from the shovel. When I'm building fires in a fire pit, I've just laid them vertically like that, near the air hole, the oxygen hole. Now, I tend to start to lay them horizontally across, so a kind of crosshatch fashion. But once it's like this and there's a big clean flame, and they do burn with really clean flames, these Dakota fire pits. So a little tip as well is, there's the main fire hole, there's the air hole, there's the funnel or the tunnel I built to guide the air in. I deliberately built this air hole facing that direction because that's where the prevailing wind comes from, or certainly the wind through this woodland. So southwest is our prevailing wind here in the UK in the south. Well, across the UK, our sort of main wind over the year is a southwesterly, and if you look at my compass, hopefully you can see that. I've pretty much built the hole on the southwest side because that is where the prevailing wind comes from. So it's going to come that way and feed loads of oxygen into our fire. And now look at that, burning really well.
pretty clean flame. That's some wet wood I've put on there as well. But there's some really good clean flame there. Here's a shot from the funnel side. This is where the southwesterly air would go through, and then you can see in the distance there the whole glow of the main fire pit. And that is our Dakota fire hole. The state of the handle now. Another reason why it would be good to put tape on. My hands were starting to blister here with this this kind of grip checkering here on the aluminium. It took exactly an hour. Yeah, it's pretty gunked up now. Cool, that's on well. I'll tell you what, another downside, where I've been smashing it in the ground and using it loads, and it's got all these sections, it's now actually jammed and I can't twist it open. It now can't pack away. Too many sections. I like the shovels that just fold over, the old entrenching tools. They just have problems. There's so many parts that can go wrong. There we go. Even then, I've still got another section I can't get off. So my setup, sleep setup, is exactly the same as what I've been using. It's kind of my summer setup. We've got the bivy bag because the mornings are starting to get a bit fresh. Then an sleeping pad, inflatable sleeping pad, my summer one. I was given this ages ago, years and years ago, by a subscriber. Zaldaran Campfire Grill. I haven't used it in such a long time. Oh, let's get rid of that. I haven't used it in such a long time, but it's basically got two sections to it. That section, and then oh, there is a third section there. I've got to remember how this works. That goes in the ground like that. This is to help you push it in the ground, I think. It's a little hole on a T-bar section there to help you dig it, twist it in, I think. But you want to get that like winged section in the ground. Actually, I'll go closer to the fire. I think this is how it's done. It might even be the other way up. There we go. And it just pinches. That's it. The weight of it just pinches. So I need to put it a little bit closer. Then that sits on there, slides down, and now it can sit, and I can put more logs in the Dakota fire pit and raise this up if I needed to. There is a little clip, I believe, yeah, just here, to help you lift and raise and lower it. If I left this straight over the, I could just put this straight over the fire, but then if I need to put more sticks in, there's going to be flame and it's going to burn on my food. So I figure this kind of grill, I can raise it up and lower it when I need to. I've just been warming the grill and just, yeah, lift and raise it without burning my hands. But I'm getting it hot to begin with. In fact, that's so damn hot anyway. I'm just going to leave that like that. It's ideal. Oh, some nice colourful things to grill tonight. Might just cut them straight in half, I think. Wow, that harvester is, combine harvester is really going for it. Right, got my little spice kit, some salt and chilli, mixed chilli. Squish it in so it actually stays in. One of the great things about this fire setup is if I need to add oxygen, I'm just going to raise that grill up a bit. If I need to add air, oxygen, I just blow in here and I get no smoke in my face. So it's great for that. Other thing we can do with this is we can like rotate it out of the way, which I do like the ability to be able to do. Oh, I forgot to add, we've also got some asparagus tips, although they're nowhere near as good grilled in my opinion. They're fried in butter is the best way with asparagus. Peppers are roasting good. I reckon we could turn it now. Oh, look at that. That side needs a lot more cooking. While that's cooking away, I thought I'd let you in on a bit of a surprise. Andy from Kent Survival has just released his range of sauces. I think he's done 3 different sauces. He was kind enough to send me some, and tonight with the steak I'm going to give the Scotch Bonnet hot sauce a go. Highly recommend you check out Andy's channel, Kent Survival. He's got a great YouTube channel, and hopefully we will go for a camp at some point soon. But yeah, going to give this one a go. I don't know if it's meant to go with steak, I don't know, but I'm going to warm it up because I saw him do it in a video, so let's pour a load in here. Oh, sauce is hot. Steak's looking all right. Check the steak first. I do want to give, I shouldn't have put chili flakes all over it, but I do want to give Jack some. Oh, that's good. Let's cut up some for Jack. So I'm just going to get rid of the chili flakes on this bit. Wait. Oh, look at that, yummy. Have some water. No? Oh, Jax. Now we're going to put some hot sauce on, Jax, so you won't like it. I've put a fair amount on. It's probably going to be really hot, isn't it? Yummy. That is nice. Just the right amount of spice, that. Oh, it goes so well with the beef. Handy, mate. That is lovely. Well, we shall test out more of the survival shovel stuff in the morning. Oh, come here, Jax. There's a good boy. I'll leash Jax up so he doesn't run off. So we've got loads of space under here, me and Jax, and if it does rain, it's not forecasted to, but we can lower this shelter quite a bit by just lowering that tripod. I like the plough point. This is called a plough point shelter. There's different ways you can set it up. This is the more laborious way of setting it up if you wanted to do a bit of bushcraft or wanted to have a bit more of a permanent camp. I like just stringing them straight up under a tree, but this way gives you a lot more room under camp, and you don't have a big tree trunk right in front of you, so you get more visibility. Me and Jack's going to call it a night. We'll catch up with you guys in the morning. It's so mild. I've noticed using the axe in this with just one section, the smallest section you can get, is a lot better, to be honest. It's much more control, there's less parts to get loose. As soon as you start adding these extension poles, it starts to get loose after a while. Just much more control. It's quite heavy. Yeah, I preferred using it like that this morning than I did yesterday. The only other thing I'd say that's annoying that's missing from the fishing kit is some kind of fake maggots, worms. Sometimes you can get little fake soft plastic lures. They're just handy to have if it saves you then having to go and try and forage for worms and bait. It just saves you that little bit of time. Good boy. We know what Jax wants. Pretty sure Jax licked the first sausage, so he can have that one. Just keeping breakfast simple today. Sausages. Still really hot. Sausage. Aye, slowly, slowly. Slowly. Oh, good boy. Jax has had his bits. No, no more Jax for you. So it's about 10 o'clock now. Been a lovely evening. Zero wind, there's no wind this morning. Bugs are still out in force as a result. But yeah, gonna take down the tarp, pack it away. It's nice and easy to pack away that shelter really quick. Tidy up camp, put the fire out properly. I'll show you what I do. Yeah, head on out of here. Edit this video. I have three more survival kits on the way as well to test out. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. So fire's gone out. I've chucked a small bit of water on there. Just going to basically break up the coals into as much powder as possible. Small pieces. Just going to pour some water on it. You can see it's out, so it's not even steaming really. I've stabbed some holes in it as well. Including under here, because that will collapse otherwise when I'm walking around in the woods. Just going to compress this hole down with my feet a bit and then chuck a bit more on because it makes it a bit more even. The idea is to make sure the ground is as even as possible. There we go, tread it down. There you go, you wouldn't even know there was a Dakota fire hole there. Then just sweep across some of these leaves, leave no trace. Loads of leaves are going to come down soon anyway with autumn. There we go, leave no trace. And this is now fully jammed. I cannot get this section off. I'm going to have to put it in a vise at home. So what is my overall opinion on these survival shovel kits? I personally feel they are very gimmicky. They're much more of a kind of Christmas gift, perhaps. When I used it, there was really no very useful tool in there. I would say the pickaxe and the shovel itself obviously did the job for what it was supposed to. The fire steel really wasn't great at all. The saw, or whatever it was, that wasn't great. The knife was pretty much blunt. The way the sections would just keep coming undone, and now the way the section is pinched and I can't get that off, I can't fold it back into the box. For £85, I think that is hugely overrated when you could probably get a cheap folding shovel for £15–10, one that just folds in half. Some of the military surplus shovels are brilliant, you know, for so much cheaper, and I could have done pretty much everything that I did here. So overall, I'm really disappointed in this for what I paid for it. I definitely wouldn't get it again. I do have one of these, a similar one anyway, from years ago that I used, probably 10 years ago, and it was better quality than this. It wasn't as expensive as this either. But yeah, for now, I'd say I would not be wanting to rely on this solely for a survival situation. Perhaps in the car as a backup kit to have, maybe. But for me, yeah, it's pretty gimmicky. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for watching. I have another 2 or 3 survival kits coming in the post. I want to keep up this theme just for the next couple of weeks. I've got some other videos to come in between these, including my pop top cabin, which I've nearly finished, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be out very soon, and we're going to be spending the first overnight in it as well. Yeah, it's been great. I've enjoyed it. I'm enjoying this series. Thanks to everyone who's commenting. If you know of any survival kits, pop them in the description below, and I'll do my best to try and test them out so that you guys don't have to. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to watch all of the videos on this playlist, on this survival kit testing video stuff, then hit the description box below. There is a link to the survival kit playlist where I go out and test them all. Thank you for watching, folks. I'll see you in the next one.